The big winner in those gender games was former New South Wales Premier Kristina Keneally. Just a couple of years ago, she was a Sky News host and used to grace this very set. I'm hoping she'll pop back for a chat with me soon. But since then, she lost the Bennelong by-election and was slipped into the Senate. And she's had a pretty prominent role. During the campaign just gone, she was something of an attack dog and social media promoter for Bill Shorten throughout the campaign. And she's been rewarded with the portfolio of Home Affairs. This is a strange place to put her because it's primarily about national security and border security. And she's been very wobbly on this stuff over the years. Remember when former Senator Sam Dastyari was caught out taking money from Chinese interests and spruiking Chinese foreign policy? Back then, instead of sticking up for Australia, Keneally was defending Dastyari. And in standing up for her Labor mate and refusing to stand up against Chinese influence, she instead seemed to attack Australia.
You know, I was in Eastwood yesterday and a number of Asian Australians, people from China, people from Korea, have said to me they're really alarmed by the Prime Minister's rhetoric. They see it as Chinophobia, they see it as scaremongering. They see the suggestion from the Prime Minister that people from a Chinese or Asian background are somehow suspicious, and they don't like it. They're very frustrated by it. They feel that this is a rhetoric we last heard from Pauline Hanson in One Nation 20 years ago.
That was not wise. It didn't show a great attitude to matters of national security. Ironically, when Dastyari had to quit in the face of all these revelations, Keneally got his Senate spot. But there are bigger problems in Home Affairs for her when it comes to border protection. She's been a loud critic of offshore processing and the Coalition's border protection politics more broadly. She was against offshore processing and boat turnbacks and has had to walk back from those positions as Labor's policies have changed. In January 2017, she wrote that there is a solution to Turnbull's Nauru and Manus Island problem that doesn't depend on the whims of an idiotic and unpredictable US president. She's referring to Trump, of course. She said, bring the refugees to Australia. And the previous year, she railed against the policies in what were even stronger terms. I've argued previously that we should have a royal commission one day into offshore detention. It might not be for a decade or more, she said, and our children and grandchildren will wonder how we let it all happen. Well, Kristina Keneally wouldn't come on the show tonight, but she says she might join me to discuss these issues in coming weeks. She did call me today and we discussed these border protection issues and the way that she's adjusted her views over time. She now says she no longer will be calling for a Royal Commission into border protection. That's another change and an important one. But I expect the government will be picking over everything she has said on this issue over many years and reminding everyone. Frankly, none of this matters much. What really matters is two things: resettling the remaining refugees on Nauru and making sure that Labor locks in long-term on strong border protection so that we never go through this trauma again.